evening. It's good to see you all and family. I don't know how many of you tonight would kind of raise your hand in acknowledgement of being perhaps what one would consider an overthinker. To have, I guess, that voice, which is your voice in your head, but you can clearly hear it, and then sometimes you can also distinguish between varying tones in voice and perhaps even accents. Now, by opposition, how many of you consider yourself to be perhaps more of a daydreamer? Is a little bit more image-based in their imagination? Okay, we got a couple of both. Well, for me, I tend to lean toward the overthinker side of things. And tonight, in part, this message came out of some of my overthinking, but in a good way. I was thinking about a single word, the word hope. And tonight, I entitled the message, No Hope. Not as in without hope, but perceive hope, to understand hope. And as I was saying before, I just took out various periods of like 15 to 20 minutes over a few days for about a few hours and was just thinking on this idea, this word, hope. So that's what I want us to do tonight. I want us to kind of take some time and think about what is the meaning. Think about hope from all of its and any perspective. I guess one perspective would be to examine the definition of the word hope and deduce that, I guess, hope is an idea or perhaps even a concept to be further analyzed and then reconstructed, kind of like learning the parts that constitute a working vehicle. Perhaps maybe in your thinking of this word hope, you thought more so of it in function, thinking of to aid in persisting, perhaps a projectile, a propellant, or an energizer. Now, in my recent, small bouts and periods of thinking about, these definitions and thinking about the word from various perspectives, I think each of these, the above that were mentioned, kind of bring a little bit of a greater picture and a greater understanding of the meaning of the word hope. Now, I guess another facet or way of understanding this word would be by its biological influence. So I don't know if you've ever felt at one time depressed or perhaps just, like weak or unable to complete the tasks of the day, only to about an hour and a half later to feel joyous, to feel strong after just eating something and then spending some time with a few friends. We have all of these various ways to perceive and better understand hope. And for one, being an overthinker, this kind of, further analysis, deeper development of having this understanding, it fascinates me. So tonight, what I'm hoping to do is I'd like to encourage us through the energizer or the power of hope. I want us to live our lives in such a way that it could be described with words like meaningful, purposeful, valuable, whole, complete. This could go on, perfect. One in the works, the definition for hope could be, and I say in the works because it's one that I've started to, put together over these past few hours of thinking about hope. it could be something along these lines. Hope is metaphysical, spiritual nutrition which enlivens spirit and drives action. Now, of course, I urge you to analyze this and try it on for yourselves. Being a self-created and subscribed definition, it's obvious that it should have some scrutiny put to it and kind of like put to the test to see if it widens or aids in your own understanding of the word hope and how it's to be defined and how it's to be understood. Now, I think it's helpful to help us further develop this thinking on this topic. Let's take a moment, and especially this will be helpful for those that are more imaginative thinkers, or you could say daydreamers, rather than those that are overthinkers. But if you could, imagine that you were developing or thinking about a list of different things that you would say gave your life meaning or purpose. However, doing so without listing anything that is eternal or anything must come from a temporal, earthly, or natural perspective. So I wonder in your mind, would your list look something like this? You could say, family, it gives hope. It helps purpose and direction to your life. You could say friends. You could say football. You could say a TV series, a career, a significant other, perhaps pets, food. I definitely enjoy food. That's one that enriches my life. I'm not sure it exactly brings purpose to it, but it enriches it. Another would be perhaps money, thrills, acknowledgement or recognition, and perhaps positional power. Now, this is a non-exhaustive list, but it kind of covers a gist of many of the ways that we would consider, this is what brings purpose to a life, at least for the natural man. This is what gives the natural man hope and a desire to go forward, to live in a society, to accomplish something, to take action, would be for one of these things, perhaps, or a compilation of these things. And we know this, of course, because we know people all around us who perhaps have a more natural man perspective, because their eyes have not been open to the truth yet, but